than twice the diameter, the radius we're bending. So that's a really tight bend. So a 3-inch radius, 1.25 inch pipe, most benders aren't going to be able to do that without having a manual setup. So with our setup, we can bend it. Typically, like our standard tooling, when you step up to 1.25 inch pipe, the next size up, it's going to be a 4-inch radius, so it's slightly less. So 1.5 inch pipe is 1.90 D, 3.8 would be twice that, so we're just about right on twice the diameter. As you get higher, you can see that 2-inch pipe set is a 6-inch radius. So that's 2 3/8 inch OD, so we're getting a little bit wider as we go. So
it's going to give you a 150.
we're definitely in the right place. Got that big Allen head wrench hanging around there.
Yeah.
So this is our cam adjustment. This is how we fine tune it. So when we start, we want to have this loose.
Did we do that last time?
No, eventually, I think eventually.
Yeah, we fucking
So this will be your fine tune, and if it's in the right location, you always want to have this foot against the bolt.
Yeah.
So if this is away from your bolt,
As it is.
as it is, yeah, it's probably not.
One of the things I remember.
Hold on to that pipe.
So
We're
that's
gonna
what
go to
A little bit bigger.
So you don't want this tight, but you don't want it loose either. You just want it firmly against your pipe.
Probably a
So-
bit like the notcher.
What's
You
that?
don't want it like when you clamp the notching unit, when we do notching, you don't
Yeah.
want it over tight,
Yeah.
you just want it to
Yeah.
hold.
Mhm.
Let the machine do all the work.
And that's pretty much where you want it here. So I'm just kind of, yeah, I'm just kind of snug. I'm not tight. Generally, you want at least a 1/2 inch through the hook arm here. So if you have that much, you're good. Now this, we were checking this earlier. It might have a seam, but you want to
We
pick.
got it, we get it with the seam? We got it with the seam.
No, we can't see it.
Looking at the inside, it looks like it's seamless.
Is that the
But it looks like
Maybe just a coating on it, maybe.
I did ask for seam.
yeah, it might be just a
Maybe
lack
just
of.
That's
one
hot
of the
drawn.
sizes was only available?
That's
for the
hot
seamless?
drawn. So
Might be the big-
so
might
they'll
be the
reduce the size, so
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
draw it from, and they'll draw it through,
Yeah. So it could be.
and that's the scale that's
You
left.
should probably find a big one's got a seam in it. One was cheaper than the other, so I bought the cheapest.
Well, the seam, basically the only reason you have to know, if you have a seam, it's going to have two. You know, it's going to be on the opposite side. So you want that either top, bottom, or in, out. You want it consistently every time. So if you're going to bend 20 pieces of this, you want the seam in the same place every time. And that will affect how your bend's going to turn out. So if you're not quite getting a 90 when you think you should be, it might be because you're just throwing it in there and bending it. Another thing, if we got this pipe recently, a month from now, if we get another batch of pipe, it may bend completely different.
Yeah.
It may be a degree or two off, and be a little softer, you know, whatever. But there's a lot of factors. I mean, the bending is actually simple, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. So it's not something you're just going to throw a pipe in and you get the same result every time. Which, that's the biggest battle you face, is people think that's the case. You know, they bend now, and then 6 months later they throw stuff in. Well, it's not bending the same. Yeah, it probably isn't. There's a lot.
It's always the machine's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Oh, yeah.
Never use
So-
your error.
Same thing with this. If you don't lock this in the same position every time, you're going to get a different result.
So once you've got it snug.
Once you got it, once you got it where you want it, then tighten it back down. Now you're locked in.
Let's do a bend.
So do you have to do that every time you put a new piece of pipe in?
No,
Only different size.
Yeah, if you go to 1.5 inch pipe now, then you'll have to redo it.
But if you're bending that
Same
same size,
size,
you
same
leave it in
thing.
there. There's no
Go
point in
again,
changing
go
it.
Already set up.
Because you're gonna
Same as the notcher, Craig. Once you set
Providing
it
it's
up and you
snug.
get it right, you go
Providing
again,
it's,
again, again.
providing it's not, because if there's two different types of pipe,
Yeah.
two different batches of pipe.
So this is the grease, basically you don't have to put grease on it every single time, but I'd say once every 3-4 bends. You know, just coat the pressure die with it, coat the section of pipe that's going to be moving along the pressure die, and that should be good.
Yeah, 'cause we found that, didn't we, Johnny? It kept scratching and damaging it every time.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we didn't have the right.
if you bend it dry, you're definitely gonna get that result. It's just gonna create more friction that's gonna get hot, and that'll be different too. If I bent this one with lube, bent the 5 bends from now, didn't use any lube at all, that might produce a different result too.
Let's bend.
So there's 2 ways you can do this. If we want to bend let's say we want to bend a 90, we want to get a perfect 90. If I pull this to 90, it's not going to end up, it'll probably end up about 75.
Because it bent back.
Yeah, there's spring back involved, so typically your spring back, the way you can measure it, you can start to bend. As soon as you see the bend beginning, that's your spring back. So if we actually actuate this, as soon as you start to see that bend start, that's your spring back.
And then count from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can do that, let's say it's 20 degrees. You can either just keep going to 110 or zero it out there and go to 90.
Oh, that's cool. We'll do that, zero it out.
Yeah.
Put it up.
That looks like it's just starting to bend there. So we're at 18 degrees. You can see there's just a
Oh, yeah,
slight
slight
bend
bend,
to
yeah.
it.
That's your spring back.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do now? Zero it,
Start
and then go to 90.
So then make it 89 there.
So
That's
essentially,
one thing that's always confusing, because there's always
Yeah,
spring
oh,
back.
yeah.
Always, and then how do you calculate it?
so essentially 108 is going to get up to a 90 on this material. But like I said, 6 months from now, you pick up inch and quarter pipe, it may be 20 or 15. It won't necessarily be the same. But I mean, if it were me, if this was my shop and I was bending all the time, I would always note that. I'd have a booklet or something like that. Yeah. Because that way you're going to have less scrap. Because chances are you're going to scrap 1 piece or 2 pieces before you really dial it in. So if you have a frame of reference, then you pretty much know where it's going. So we can reset that there, and now we'll just go to 90. So if we think we got a good 90, we'll retract back. And when I retract, I always want to make sure I'm fully back. Just give it a couple shots there. So,
And we had 90.
looks pretty solid.
So you Christian manual bend there, guys. You don't get this out, it comes in at the bottom and the top.
Yeah.
If you
Draw
put a
marks,
manual in
draws
there,
it.
that keeps it exactly even the whole way through. So when you run fluid,